we're gonna fly.
So I just got back from my high school orientation, and it was like a few hours. But what they had us do is we all got in the gym, and the teachers talked for a little bit, and then they said we had 10 minutes to go to all of our classes, and the teacher would just see who was going to be in their class for each period, and you'd meet the teacher, and they'd take attendance and tell you how the year was going to go and whatnot. Now, I knew my schedule, but I had no fucking idea where any of the classes were, and apparently you're supposed to bring your schedule. So when they sent us out to our classes, everyone pulled out their schedules and went to their classes, and I'm like, fuck man, I didn't bring my schedule. So I'm just walking, trying to look over at other people's schedules because I didn't bring mine. And for 3 of my 8 classes, I was just chilling in some random class that I wasn't even in. I would try to sit in the back so when the teacher took attendance, she wouldn't notice me. But after that, I'm walking in the hallway, planning on going to another random class. Then I hear someone say, I don't have my schedule. And he was talking to a teacher, and she said to go to the office and get it. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna follow this kid. And I look, and it's my friend Christian. And I'm like, yo, what's up? And he's like, hey, I'm getting my schedule from the office. I'm like, same. So we go to the office, we get our schedules, and the rest of orientation was alright, because I actually knew where I was fucking going. But it reminded me of a time in middle school when I cheated on a test. So when I remember that, I was like, alright, this is gonna be my next video. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, so this story takes place back in 7th grade, and it was the end of the first semester, and in science. And we had a summative test that was about everything we learned for the past, 10 weeks, which included a shit ton of units, and a bunch of other stuff that I don't even fucking remember. But that one test counted for 50% of our grade, so you kinda had to do well on the test or else your grade would get fucked. So the teacher tells us, hey, our summative test is next week. And after hearing this, I was like, fuck, because I didn't know anything that I had to know in order to pass the test. So I tell myself, okay, I'm gonna study every night to prepare for the test so I don't get fucked. So I go home, didn't even study for 1 second, and I did that for 4 nights, and then it was Monday, and the teacher said, hey, quick reminder, the test is on Friday, so you might want to study. And I was like, fuck, because I didn't know shit about what I needed to for the test. And I suffer with severe procrastination, so studying for a test was never something I really did. But a few more days go by, and then it's Thursday, and the teacher says, hey, the test is tomorrow, hope you guys studied. And she even asked random questions related to the test and would pick on people randomly, and I had literally no idea how to answer any of them. So I just kind of chilled and hoped that the teacher wouldn't call on me, and thankfully she didn't. But the whole rest of the school day, I had this fucking feeling in my stomach because I was fucking nervous and stressed out about the test, and knew that if I didn't study, my grade was gonna get fucked. And my parents wouldn't be too happy about that. So I go home and open my notebook and textbook and studied for 10 minutes. Then I was like, this is so fucking boring. I'd rather be doing anything else right now. So I turned on my Xbox, played some Black Ops 2 for 4 hours. Then my dad called me down because a hockey game was on. So I went down, watched the game, and it ended at 11. And I went back to my room, and I was fucking tired and just wanted to go to bed. So I said, you know what, I'll study in the morning, and just went to bed. So I woke up at around 7, and I had to be at the bus at 8:15. So I woke up and realized, fuck, it's Friday, the day that I had the fucking summative test. So I'm freaking out because I didn't know jack shit about what the test was going to be about. So I was just walking around my room thinking of what I was going to do. At first I was thinking, should I fake sick to stay home from school? But I soon realized I was going to have to cheat. So I was thinking of ways to cheat, and I knew I wasn't going to write on my arm or hand because there wasn't enough space on my arm to write an entire fucking summative test. And I knew there was a high chance of getting caught, so I scrapped that idea. Then I thought of writing notes and putting them in my pocket and pulling them out during the test. But while I was thinking of all that, I saw my notebook just chilling on my desk. And the way my notebook was set up is we had study guides and we'd fill them in during class and we'd just glue them in our notebooks. And I thought, hey, what if I took pictures of my study guides and just looked at my phone during the test? So I grabbed my phone, had a fucking photo shoot with my notebook, just taking detailed pictures, making sure I could clearly see the answers. And that took 10 minutes, and after that I started running drills. So I went to my desk in my room and just practiced being stealthy while looking at my phone. And I finally felt good about it, and I knew what I was doing. So I go to the bus stop, get on the bus, and I made sure to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb, airplane mode, and turn the ringer off, just in case someone tried to call or text or a notification came up. It wouldn't make a loud noise, and I wouldn't get caught. So I get to school, I go to my first period class, which was math, and then I went to science. And I was really nervous because I didn't want to get caught, and I was just thinking of all the ways this could go wrong. But while I got to science class. So I go to my seat, waited for 2 minutes, then the bell rang, and everyone got in their seats and was ready for class. Then my science teacher shut the door and told us that we had the whole class to finish the test. And she went over the rules, and there was a cart of laptops, and whenever there was a test, we would just take it on the laptops, and everyone had a laptop number, so she said, okay, 1 through 10, get your laptops, 11 through 20, and so on, and I was number 28 or 29, I think. So I get my laptop, I boot it up, and the program that we took the test on, it's called PowerSchool, and we all had ID numbers, so we put in our ID numbers, and then we select the test, and when you select the test, it goes to full screen. And if you clicked escape to look up the answers, it'd give you like 10 seconds to go back to full screen, or it would kick you out. So we all get our computers, log into PowerSchool, and the teacher tells us to begin the test. And it was 55 questions, and most of them were multiple choice. So I went through the whole test just to see how many I already knew. And I go through the whole test, and I only knew like 10% of the questions. So I go back to question 1, I pull out my phone, and start answering the questions. And everything was going smoothly. I got through the first 30 questions real fast, and it only took a few minutes, and I'm feeling good because I was almost done with the test and it was all about to be over. But then things took a turn for the worst. So I was on like question 45, and my plan was to finish the test as fast as possible so I could put my phone away, and I just wait like 10 minutes then submit my test, because if I finished in 5 minutes that'd look suspicious. So I'm on question 45, and the person I sat next to at my table was a fucking dick. So let's call him Dick. So Dick and I didn't like each other because of some shit unrelated to this, but we had some beef, and he sat next to me, and we were all spread out, but he was sitting on the side of the table that was next to me, so he could see me, but I don't think he was paying attention to me. But I was doing the test, and then he just looks at me, and I see him, and he just gets this fucking smile. Then he gets up and yells, "Miss Johnson, logic's cheating," and I was like, oh fuck, in my head. So I turn off my phone, I put it in my pocket, and Miss Johnson comes over and asks what happened, and the whole class is fucking watching. Then Dick says Logic had his phone out and was cheating, and Miss Johnson asked me if that was true, and I said no, and she said, okay, go out in the hallway. So we go out, she tells me to empty my pockets, and I did, and there was my phone. So then Miss Johnson told me to go to the office. So I went to the office, then she called the fucking office and told them that I was coming. So I get to the office, there were like 2 other kids out there before me, so I had to wait till they were done, then I could talk to the principal. So those kids finish up, and I go in the principal's office, and she just gives me this look of disappointment for like a whole minute, and then she says, Logic, do you want to explain to me why you're in here? And I said, well, I was taking a test, and someone yelled that I was cheating, so then I got sent down here. And then she asks, well, did you cheat? And I told her what happened. She's like, okay, we're gonna have your parents come in for a meeting. And basically she told me what was gonna happen. And she called my parents, and my dad's work's like an hour away, so only my mom came. I had to sit outside the principal's office for like 20 minutes until my mom came. And my mom had to leave work early, and she was not too happy about that. So my mom shows up, and my principal, my science teacher, and my mom and I all have this meeting, and they both told my mom what happened. And I couldn't say, oh, my science teacher didn't tell us the test was today, or our teacher sucks at teaching, because I had all the time in the world to study, and my science teacher was a good teacher. So the only person who was at fault was me. And I said that to my mom, and I said I was sorry. And they all seemed to appreciate that. But I got suspended for 2 days, and I was pretty cool with my science teacher before this. So thank fuck she didn't give me an F on the test. What happened was, after I was suspended, the day I got back, I stayed at school for another hour and took the test. But my science teacher and another science teacher from a different class watched me take the test just to make sure I wasn't cheating, and I wasn't. But I ended up getting a 93 because it shows your score after you submit it. But it just goes to show how you don't need to cheat to get a good grade on a test. You can just study and not risk getting caught, because that's even worse than getting an F on the test and not cheating. But after that, I just went on with my day, and Dick, the cocksucker that snitched on me, I got him back, but that's for a different story. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to drop a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.